We are here at AQS Quilt Week at the Fall Paducah Show, and I have another winner. Betty New has won honorable mention in the Applique Quilts Wall Quilts sponsored by AQS Quilt. Let's talk about your beautiful quilt.
Okay.
Now I see that you've done something which is one of my favorite techniques for appliquing, and that is that you've used a zigzag stitch to go around the edge. And so why do you do that?
I like the zigzag stitch because that's available on almost everyone's machine, for one thing, and I like it open so that the fabric behind it shows through. I like to use a lot of colored threads, so as you can see the blue thread on the black fabric, then it shows through, so it's not such a contrast. The satin stitch is a little bit tricky to do to look really nice for me. Anyway,
Me too.
So I chose an open zigzag stitch, and then I like to outline it with the triple stitch, one of my favorite stitches on the machine.
Well, and what you've done with that triple stitch, you've changed colors and made it a high contrast color. So you have to do that really well, don't you?
Well, I have a lot of threads. That's my friends always tease me that I buy more thread than they buy fabric, so I like to find ways to use my thread.
Okay, and how about the color scheme? Where did that come from?
I bought a pack of fat quarters 2 or 3 years ago at a quilt show, and it was wrapped up with such a beautiful little bow. I just had it sitting on the shelf, and then one day I decided, well, today's the day, so I just used the colors that were in the pack, and to see how that I could put them together to show up, and this is the result.
Well, and you've used a slightly different fabric in the background. What is that?
The gray is peppered cotton, and I think all of the fabrics were maybe a peppered cotton, but anyway, it was a peppered cotton that I thought that all of the bright colors looked good. I like to use black a lot of times, but I liked how they looked on the gray, and so then I decided just to outline them with the black.
Well, and the pepper cotton is woven with 2 different colors, isn't
Right.
it? And so
Yes.
that gives it almost a heathered look, which looks very nice behind all of your applique. How did you quilt it?
I quilted just on a home machine, just free motion quilting. In the background, I used silk thread so that I didn't want the thread really to show up in the background. I want it to be textured, so I chose that.
And the silk thread is fine, so it really does just embed itself into your background, doesn't it?
It did.
Okay, and then you finished it off with a really pretty piped edge.
I like piping. That was one of the first things, one of the first books I ever bought by Susan when I first started quilting, Susan Cleveland's book about piping, and so just out of the book I learned how to do it, and so I like to put it on a lot of my quilts.
Now, have you entered our contest before?
Yes, I have.
Have you? Is this the first time you've won a ribbon?
A few years ago I won an honorable mention, and once I won a second place. Okay, but I've had other quilts, but it's been a while, so I was really thrilled to get to get a winner ribbon.
Well, and you know what? Sometimes the competition in the contest is pretty keen, so you can be very proud that you won this ribbon at this show.
I'm really proud.
Well, and so thank you for entering your quilt, and we can't wait to see more quilts from you. And we can't wait to see more quilts from you, and we hope we will see you soon at an AQS Quilt Week event.
Thank you.